Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today we have another video for you in our lore series, and this one in particular in our Who Is series, and once again, yes, we are looking at another God Beast. God Beasts, for those who don't know, are these massive, larger than your imagination can possibly fathom creatures that sometimes rival the power of the gods and in many cases actually exceed their power. These are creatures of immense power and immense size, and here we're going to take a look at one in particular that you might have heard of before actually, and this one is called Ignax. And I mentioned you might have heard of that, and that's because previously when we had the malign sorcery artifacts, there was a artifact named after Ignax, and that was of course Ignax's scales. Obviously these are scales from the god beast Ignax, hence why they're a magical artifact. So let's start talking about Ignax. Ignax, also known as the Solar Drake, she's a zodiacal god beast, and she is also the daughter of the god beast Volcatrix. For those who don't know, we'll do a whole nother video on Volcatrix, but Volcatrix is effectively the god beast that the Slayer god had to go fight when he needed to do a deed for Sigmar, and they both destroyed each other. That's who Volcatrix is. At the beginning of the Realm Gate Wars, Ignax was an orange-yellow giant located above the Ashlands, bound to the land of the Chained Sun to act as an eternal sun for the Flame Worlds. But let's get looking into that in more detail. At the very beginning and the history of Ignax, her very first thing she did is she fought the other god beast Nagendra, the father of serpents, effectively the father of all hydras, for control of the heartlands of this particular realm, also known as or the Realm of Fire. Although victorious, she is mightily wounded with her fight with the other god beast and weakened by the battle. Taking advantage of this, the ancestors of the Fire Slayers that inhabit the land of the Chained Sun make a bargain with their god Grungi, and he then forges them god chains, called the Great Tethers of Ignax. Because Ignax is exhausted from her fight with the Father of Serpents, Grimnir captures and shackles her, and his people have light and fire from the sun from her, as if she's some sort of sun forever and always. She's chained above them. She's chained above with these mighty god chains high above the mortal realm, protruding this sunlight forever and ever. And the Great Tethers, lava-fueled steam winches, and other mechanical insights from the Dwarven Smith god all help to just keep her in place and ensure that night will never arrive to this part of the mortal realms. Rumours, although, do have it that if these fires have actually ever did go out, that actually itself would begin to extinguish if she ever was to go out. Now let's talk about the War of the Flame Worlds and Ignax's part in the Realm Gate Wars. Archaon had learned from Cainthus that the son of the Flame Worlds was actually Ignax. But even his gaunt summoners were unable to reach the landmass where she was, and any portals created had their destinations altered by ancient ward and shield runes, and were just as likely to land on safe ground as they were to open up on the searing heat of Ignax. One of Archaon's plans, and Nurgle's plans as well, the two working together to take over the god beast, was to send Blyre Rotspawn to spread the plague of atrophy through the Ashlands, as the mortal spirit that powered Ignax would be diminished, leaving Ignax cowed enough for Archaon to enslave her. As the curse spread through the mortals of the Ashlands, the solar orb started to dim. But, however, all was not right within the Chaos household, and Valkyr and or Khorne disapproved of this plan and sent Skarbrand to stop it. Lord Relictor Ionis Cryptborn of the Hammers of Sigmar manipulated the war, however, and tricked Skarbrand into powering the Crystal Henge, with his rage sending it in waves that spread throughout the Flame Worlds. These waves of rage spread throughout the mortals and caused the fires of Ignax to burn with sky-searing intensity. After Skarbrand was tricked, Archaon's plan hung by a thread. Powered by Skarbrand's fury, Ignax had flared brighter than ever. Raw fire magic blazed from her flanks and forced everyone under her gaze to flee deep into the earth or risk being incinerated by her flames. Only when Skarbrand's fury exhausted did the god beast also become spent, and Archaon finally judged the time right to attempt to enslave her. Doric Claimblade, Auric Rune Smiter of the Fireslayer Lodges of the Ashlands, attacked by the Vanguard previously, used a secret portal in the Lodestone Peak to reach the land of the Chained Sun. He created Aurica and the blasphemous Runes of Unbinding, stamping there on 2 of the chains to help release Ignax from her chains. When Ignax rested against her bindings, powered by Skarbrand's rage, and snapped 2 of her chains, which fell and connected the lands of the Chained Sun and the Scarred Isle, allowing the Varangard and their masters to invade. As the invasion continued, the Fireslayers began to realize that the war was lost. Even with the support of the Chamber Extremis newly released by Sigmar from the heavens above, the Fireslayers needed more help. So they did coax 36 magma drops from their lairs and used them to establish as a base of winches that still held Ignax fast and pulled her closer so that her fires could purge the invaders from the lands, while the Fireslayers escaped deep into the land, hiding behind ancient protective runes that made them immune to the flames. The Volgrov brothers climbed the chains on the back of the magma drops, which were immune to her flames. The riders were not, and they burned away, charred, completely burned to nothing but bone. Only Volgrov Bornson on the back of Garka, protected by the rune Arika, did reach Ignax's hide and hammered the rune into it before being immediately consumed by the godbeast flames, as the invaders of the land of the Changed Sun were purged by Ignax's newfound fury. The only survivor on the surface was Archaon, riding his mount Drogar, protected by his magical god-given wards. With her wrath now spent, Archaon flew into the god-beast's island-sized skull and drove the Slayer of Kings into it, allowing the daemon inside his blade to claw at Ignax's mind, driving her almost insane. As she writhed in agony, the great tethers were torn from the ground, and her flames had brought so close to the land, it weakened and shattered the crust of the island that held her. Ignax flew into the cosmic sprawl of Akshi, chains trailing behind her, and Archaon triumphantly riding in her wake, assured of her enslavement, unaware the Dwarden rune in her flank. In appearance, Ignax, she is described as a dragon so vast she is coiled around a sun. Whether or not she is in fact this burning sun, or the sun is something she has attached herself to, it is unknown. Not much is known, though, of Ignax's followers in modern age of Sigmar, or if there is any actual religion or cult, in fact, that worships her, but the people of the Ashlands praise her fire, not necessarily her. The Dwarden that freed her wished to see her burned brightly once more. The powers this god beast has is when she was banned to the land of the Chained Sun, grew stronger with the fire of the mortal spirits that inhabited the flame worlds beneath her, fueling her inferno. It also, however, left her vulnerable as the fires grew dimmer when the mortals were inflicted with the plague of atrophy, or empowered when the same mortals were touched by Skarbrand's amplified rage. This has the essence of now she is actually a god, and her worship now and her power can be derived from her very worship. As the offspring of Volcatrix, her presence grants monsters of the Ashland the ability to breathe fire. Due to their shared fiery lineage, the magma drops raised and reared beneath her flames have stronger breaths, fire slayers that can bathe entire regiments in roaring waves of molten flame now, thanks to these mighty magma drop mounts empowered by Ignax. Those caught in the solar drake's glare will face a fiery death if judged unworthy. She will judge someone by the burning passion inside their heart. She can beat her incandescent pinions to make an ash storm, and her flames cause rock, stone, and wood and trees to burst into flame and wreath anybody near them in the fires of Ignax. Anybody who gazes directly at Ignax will be forever blinded, and Ignax's oppressive solar energies are the reason why the Ashlands are tortured, barren plains. There are many artifacts of Ignax in the mortal realms, as we've mentioned. The different scale. The Ignax's scales are a revered artifact that can ward away magical wounds. The Eye of Ignax is a gem artifact named after her that blesses the user's weapon to make it do more damage, especially to wooded foes such as Sylvaneth. The Fire Slayers of the Chained Isle have developed enchantments that capture her very solar power and give them now their fire steel blades, which ignite with the Godbeast's fiery wrath when they are hurled through the air. But that's all we have today to talk about Ignax. I hope you've enjoyed this story. Thank you so much for watching the video. While you're at it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Stay up to date with everything we're doing on Cinderful Gaming. Also, in the link description, you'll find a link to a Discord server where you can come join me and the rest of our fantastic community and come chat all things Warhammer. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to everyone who supports the channel via Patreon. You guys are all fantastic, and if you'd like to also support the channel via Patreon, you can find a link down in the description of the video as well. A special thank you to Christian Weir, Philip Ward, Chaos Spawn, Soren and Kenny Lau, our Cinderful Free Guild Regiment Militias members, and our Free Guild Regiment members, James and AJC. Thank you so much for supporting us. It means the world. That's it for today though, folks. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.